Randomly, our car gets hit from the side by a blacked out vehicle. No license plate. That's happened 3 times this month so far.
Really?
Jamie Foxx said out of his mouth that his partner handed him an Advil, and after he took that Advil, he woke up 22 days later.
The internet said that Puffy tried to. I left them parties early. I was out by 9. Something don't look right. It's slippery in here.
Well, I hang with P. Diddy, a lot, man. Sean, Puffy Combs. And we hang out, man. I mean, we party, and I call him Black Gatsby, man.
Is the one that called the FBI on him. The whole time when Jamie was out for the industry insiders, Diddy did that to him.
Celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC just dropped bombshell claims in a wild interview with Piers Morgan. And when I say bombshell, I mean someone literally tried to blow him up to stop him from doing this interview. Big Homie alleged that Diddy's crew tried to sabotage his car and cause him to crash it. And when that didn't work, they even allegedly tried to poison him and gave him some stuff that made him sick with pneumonia-like symptoms. And allegedly, Diddy may have used that same method to take out multiple people who all supposedly passed from pneumonia. But it gets even wilder. Big Homie also brought up those rumors that Diddy allegedly tried to take out Jamie Foxx using that same poison tactic. And here's the creepy part. Big Homie says every time he tried to schedule this interview with Piers in the past to talk about this stuff, someone tried to silence him for good. Now keep in mind that this guy isn't your usual clout chaser gossiping about Diddy being gay or anything like that. Big Homie left the whole celebrity world behind to fight human trafficking, and he now works for an organization focused on saving women and kids. But the darkest part is that Big Homie claims Diddy isn't even the top of the food chain. According to him, way more powerful and dangerous people are calling the shots from the shadows. Listen, this interview is next level, so let me break it down for all of you.
Yeah, somebody didn't want me to do this interview. I'm somebody where I've had FBI come to my house before and tell me they found a threat against my life.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with Big Homie CC, he's a former celebrity bodyguard and entrepreneur originally from the streets of Chicago. He has built a reputation by working with some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. But after witnessing some seriously disturbing things working for these celebs, Big Homie decided to leave that industry. And now he's involved in exposing serious crimes against the most vulnerable victims in society. Big Homie has previously alleged that there's a high-level operation tied to thousands of missing persons. And according to him, Diddy is a small player in this game compared to the people who are actually pulling the strings.
Each year, 150,000+ children come across the border and are unaccounted for. If they're not with proper authorities, they are with cartels, they are with criminal organizations, they are getting sex trafficked. It's the biggest business on the planet.
So after Big Homie left the industry to focus on rescuing victims, he started speaking out on everything he witnessed while working for big-name celebrities. And if even a fraction of what he's saying is true, then this whole Diddy situation is just the tip of the iceberg. So after Diddy's trial kicked off earlier this month, Piers Morgan invited Big Homie to do an interview, and it finally dropped on May 15th. But according to Big Homie, just getting there almost cost him his life. He says he was being followed, nearly forced into a car crash, and even claims the FBI warned him that there's an active threat against him.
Working in the industry, I converted my business to combat human last year, my team brought home 17 people, 4 children, 1 boy. And whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution.
But that's not all. Big Homie claims he started developing pneumonia symptoms right after he started speaking out against everything that's going on in the industry. And he even got a little choked up while talking about this.
Along this path, I've been poisoned 3 times. My toxicology report showed cyanide. And cyanide metabolizes into pneumonia in your body. So I've had pneumonia on 3 occasions. And these problems didn't start for me until I started to speak out about people like this.
Now, you already know that whenever you hear pneumonia linked to people around Diddy, that's a major red flag. A bunch of folks close to him have died in suspicious ways, but their deaths were officially blamed on pneumonia.
Brittany Murphy died from pneumonia, but anemia and prescription drugs also played a role. Her death was ruled accidental. A Los Angeles County coroner spokesman would not say what kind of drugs were involved in Murphy's death, but said they were all prescription medications.
Even Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina's autopsy stated she died from lobar pneumonia, the exact same thing they said Kim died from.
As Bobby Christina Brown's autopsy reveals that the daughter of Whitney Houston died from pneumonia. She died in similar circumstances as her mother, with her face immersed in water.
We have an update on the shocking death of Kim Porter. The model, actress, and longtime girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs died unexpectedly at the age of 46 yesterday. And there are reports that she was suffering from pneumonia and died of cardiac arrest at home.
Makes you wonder, right? Because what are the chances of all these young, healthy people all dying from pneumonia? And it just so happens that they were all part of Diddy's circle. It's super suspicious because pneumonia is usually only dangerous for older people or those with weak immune systems, not young, healthy adults, especially not celebrities with access to the best doctors and medical care money can buy. And yet somehow, several young people connected to Diddy and his circle have died from pneumonia or pneumonia-like illnesses. That's way outside the norm and raises serious questions. How does a disease that's usually treatable or preventable take out so many seemingly healthy, high-profile people? When you see a pattern like this, it's hard not to suspect something more sinister is going on behind the scenes. So when Big Homie CC said he developed pneumonia-like symptoms after speaking out about Diddy and other big names in the industry, it triggered alarm bells for folks familiar with those past cases.
You clearly feel that Sean Combs over the years has made people disappear.
Right. Well, Piers, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
But it gets even crazier. Piers Morgan also asked Big Homie about Jamie Foxx and those rumors that Diddy allegedly had Jamie poisoned back in 2023, just a few months before Cassie's lawsuit dropped. And Big Homie pointed out that Jamie himself hinted that Diddy was behind his mystery medical emergency that left him in a coma and almost cost him his life.
There have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time. I saw the tunnel. I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, shit, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked at the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on. Or was that Puffy? I'm effing around, but if that was Puffy at a flaming bottle of Johnson, and no, I'm just kidding, I think that you have taken that to be a not too oblique reference to the fact that he's suggesting he may too have been poisoned.
Jamie Foxx said out of his mouth that his partner handed him an Advil, and after he took that Advil, he woke up 22 days later. That's what he said out of his mouth. I feel like us as a species, I feel like human skepticism has become a virus, because if we don't trust the words of our peers, where are we as a species? You know, eyewitness testimony and circumstantial evidence is enough to get a person a life sentence in any court on the earth. Why is it that when people are whistleblowing and putting their life and livelihood on the line, they receive so much scrutiny? I don't think that's by chance.
And when asked why he thinks Diddy would actually try and poison Jamie, Big Homie pointed to the timeline and explained how Jamie's medical emergency happened shortly after Diddy was notified that he was under federal investigation.
I mean, why would Diddy want to poison Jamie Foxx?
If you know that you have, well, just to give some insight to people watching, when you come under federal investigation, they send you a target letter. You know, you get informed that you're being investigated. So if you wanted to tie up loose ends and you were concerned that people that you knew could incriminate you, you may have interest in eliminating them. We've seen this all throughout history.
Now here's another wild part. Piers pointed out that this is how the mafia moves. And that's when Big Homie hinted that Diddy is basically just a middleman. And there are allegedly way more powerful people behind him who are pulling the strings. And according to Big Homie, Diddy's higher-ups decided to use him as a scapegoat when he became too much of a liability.
I'm definitely speaking from experience. This is definitely a highly dangerous situation because this guy was the middleman. He was the party guy. He was the person who lined up the parties and festivities for a lot of guys a lot more wealthy and affluent than him. So, you know, I'm a person who believes that the Epstein's list is very similar to Diddy's list. I'm a believer in that. And, you know, whenever it comes to protecting women and children, I'm gonna be fierce. Us as men, we must learn to police ourselves in our own community because if not, these type of activities will continue to run rampant. I know this situation is dangerous. I've had several attempts on my life throughout my career. And you know, where there's one dangerous guy, there's a group. Oftentimes in my culture, being an African-American male, sometimes we can believe that we're bigger than the program. And the moment he decided to sue the liquor company, Diageo, that's when all of the onset of these problems started. You know, when you offend a list of board of directors and all of them are richer than you can get the short end of the stick. And that's what we're watching happen here.
Now going back to Jamie Foxx, he's been completely silent ever since Diddy's trial began. After hinting in his comedy special last year that Diddy was the devil, he hasn't said a single thing about any of this since. But here's where it gets sketchy. Back in December, Jamie was involved in an altercation while celebrating his 57th birthday. And the following day, he shared another cryptic message about the devil and also mentioned his Netflix special where he talked about Diddy. So this incident went down on December 13th while Jamie was having a birthday dinner at a restaurant in Beverly Hills. According to his spokesperson, who later spoke to Fox, someone from another table threw a glass that hit Jamie in the mouth, and he had to get stitches. On top of that, the police showed up at the restaurant shortly after getting a call about an attack with a deadly weapon. Now, according to the spokesperson, there was a physical fight between Jamie and the other party involved, and no one was arrested. But the next day, Jamie posted this message on Instagram: "The devil is busy, but I'm too blessed to be stressed." He also wrote in the caption, "The devil is a lie. Can't win here. Thank you for everybody that prayed and checked on me. When your light is shining bright, they try to bring you in darkness, but they don't know that you're built for it. The lights have been shining bright." And huge thank yous to everyone that have watched and been inspired by What Had Happened Was. #1 on Netflix. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It's from my heart and my soul. So once Jamie mentioned the devil and brought up his comedy special, fans didn't waste any time connecting the dots. And they started speculating that the restaurant incident involving Jamie was actually a warning from Diddy. In case you missed it, Jamie talked in his special about the terrifying medical emergency he had in April 2023. And he said he suffered a brain bleed that led to a stroke, was in a coma for weeks, and completely lost 20 days of memory. And he also made a joke about seeing Puff, aka the devil, at the end of the tunnel.
At the end of the tunnel, I thought I saw the devil like, come on. Was that Puffy? But if it was Puffy, he had like a flaming bottle of Johnson & Johnson.
Now, as for those rumors that Diddy had something to do with this hospitalization, Jamie brushed it off as just internet talk and claimed he always left those Diddy parties early.
The internet said that Puffy tried to... I know what you're thinking. Diddy? Hell no, I left them parties early.
But Jamie did confirm that he suffered a sudden medical emergency after someone on his team handed him an Advil. And with all those rumors about Diddy supposedly poisoning people by putting stuff in their regular medicine, a lot of people are now wondering if that pill was really just a regular Advil.
April 11th, I was having a bad headache. and I asked my boy for an aspirin. And I realized quickly that when you in a medical emergency, your boys don't know what the to do. The cool doctor with the Laker jersey, white dude, said, listen, he's having this brain bleed that led to a stroke, and if I don't go in his head right now, we're gonna lose him. We didn't find where it was coming from, but he is having a stroke.
But fans are calling something shady here, because just a few months before Jamie's special was officially released on Netflix, people who were at the live taping swore he actually told the audience that Diddy tried to poison him. In fact, back in October, Page Six reported that several eyewitnesses claimed Jamie flat out said Diddy was behind the health scare that landed him in the hospital in 2023. And one of the people who spoke up was Choke No Joke, who told Comedy Hype that during Jamie's special taping, Jamie didn't just say Diddy was behind what happened. He also allegedly said he contacted the FBI once they started looking into Diddy.
They saying that they gave him some type of pill or something that knocked him out, but it all was alleged connected back to Diddy, right? Because something happened with Diddy and Jamie. Now, more recently, Jamie has a special coming out on Netflix called What Had Really Happened Was. And I went to the taping of it. It was 3 days taping. I went to the first show, I went to the last show.
Okay.
Jamie Foxx states in this, spoiler alert, but Jamie Foxx states in the special that Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, and he is the one that called the FBI on him.
So it's gotta be a joke though, right?
I don't think he was joking. Y'all can determine was he joking or not when you see the show, because to me, I'm a new comedian, right? I've learned and learned from the game. I know when somebody's setting up a punchline, and I know when you're serious. And when he said it, I called, and I'm the one that called the F. He said, Diddy, is the one that did something to me or whatever. And I'm not gonna give out, I don't wanna give away his jokes or nothing, but after he said Diddy did something to me, he said, and I'm the one that called the feds on him. So everybody out here that's talking about Diageo, this, that, and the other, better go back and think about when that happened to Jamie and start looking at the chain of events.
Choke swore he clearly heard Jamie say that Diddy tried to poison him. And he claimed Jamie ended up heavily editing the final cut of his special, basically cutting out most of what he originally said about Diddy.
You got scared.
What you made a big, splash was about a month ago when you talked about going to the Jamie Foxx taping. And so his special would just drop. It finally dropped. We got to see him talk about Diddy. But it didn't line up with what you said was what went down. Did they cut this out or something?
Jamie Foxx, y'all f***ed that show up. It was much more funnier in person. You got scared. You told 2 goddamn Diddy jokes, and you went off on Diddy for at least 30 to 45 minutes on both of the shows I went to. Jamie, you f***ed up the show, bro. It was good for y'all, for TV that didn't get to see the stand-up.
I enjoyed it.
But trust me, man, y'all got 90 minutes out of 9 hours. He did at least 3 hours, 3 nights, right? And y'all only got an hour and a half.
A condensed version.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at the crowd, you'll see the crowd is changing every goddamn other clip.
Right, that's how they film
You know what I'm
specials.
saying?
Yeah.
So for everybody to act like, oh, it was so great, this, that, man, that was not a stand-up that he got up on the stage and rocked it straight through from beginning to end.
And when asked why Jamie cut all that stuff about Diddy, Choke said he probably got worried he'd get dragged into Diddy's legal mess and maybe even have to testify. But that's not where it ends. Choke also claimed that Jamie cut out a whole bit about Diddy's friend T, plus some parts where he allegedly hinted that Diddy had something to do with the deaths of Craig Mack, Tupac, Biggie, and even Albie Shore's near-death scare.
Why you think they took, so for the record, they did take out the Diddy conversation?
Yeah, they took out the Diddy.
Why do you think they took it out? Because you said scared.
No, because he probably would have had to go and testify in court to that, right? Diddy probably would have sued him, right? For making those allegations.
Because it got you looking crazy. Don't you feel that way?
No, I don't. Hell no, I don't.
Okay.
It ain't got me looking crazy because I wasn't the only person that heard it.
Okay.
You got the bodyguard dude
I see
that
him.
heard it.
Right.
And his daughters even called him and told him what was going on, that they called the police.
I heard that rumor.
You know what I'm saying?
Allegation.
So I don't feel crazy. I know that that got edited. The whole, he murdered this Jakes. Ask anybody that was there about the jokes. He didn't have one joke in there.
Yeah.
And he only said 2 Diddy jokes. And if y'all think that...
You think those Diddy jokes were funny?
The 2 he said?
Mm-hmm.
They had nothing on the jokes that he said about, y'all didn't think, Diddy tried to, but I got out of it. But it was slippery in that moment. But Craig Mack didn't make it out of there.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I mean, Tupac didn't make it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Biggie didn't make it. He said all that.
Jay was...
Yes.
Oh.
He said all that. And the shit was mad funny. He like, but I slipped out of it. But Biggie did, Craig Mack did. He even mentioned Albie Shore. All that was cut out.
So now with big homie CC also speaking out and claiming he was poisoned several times, it really makes you wonder how often this kind of thing goes down in the entertainment world. And if there's more to all those so-called medical emergencies that took out celebs in suspicious ways. And then you've got the whole situation with Jamie Foxx and the very suspicious timing of his health scare. I mean, you don't even have to believe in conspiracy theories to feel like something seriously shady is going on here. But let me hear your thoughts on Big Homie's interview with Piers Morgan and his claims that Diddy's been allegedly poisoning people for years. And what about this theory that Diddy's just a pawn and there are even bigger players running the show? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't miss this next deep dive.